Hey guys, it's Greg Murphy from BustProofBusiness.com. And if you guys can hear me and see me and everything, let me know in the chat. We're trying something new here on Crowdcast. And yeah, let me know if you guys can see me and hear me and all that fun stuff. And yeah, let's hope that it's just not me here. There we go. Thank you, Terry. Wonderful. Perfect. Okay, guys. So this is a new platform called Crowdcast. Really fun because we can do a lot with this. Now it's gonna be very interesting. Now I'm not gonna put anybody on the spot now unless you want to volunteer to test out some other features. Anybody that attends this right now, I can pull you guys up here and share the screen with you so you can be on this live stream with me, either from your phone or from your iPad or whatever it is that you're using, your computer. If you have a webcam, it'll pull you up live. So if that's something that you're interested in testing with me today, I'll do that. Chris, do you think you want to do that? You want to hop up here with me real quick? All right, let's see. We're going to invite Chris to come on screen and we will see what happens. Yeah, we invited him up here. I don't know. Yeah, it says he's connecting, so it might just take a minute. And while we're doing that, we'll talk a little bit about. So the other thing that's happening right now, if I'm doing this right, in 1 minute it'll be 12:15 p.m. Eastern, and this will start streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. If it does not do that, then I did something wrong, right? And so it looks like Chris may or may not be joining us here. It looks like he's connecting, trying to figure that thing out. And while he's doing that, the other thing I can do is I can share my screen with you guys. We can do all kinds of fun stuff on here. So, and I guess right now, it might be a good thing to talk a little bit about data while we're trying to get all this stuff up here. There's been a lot of stuff going on lately. And while we're doing this, yes, we do have a poll here as well. And you guys can fill how are you selling most of your products on Amazon, whether FBA or merchant fulfilled. You should see down there where you can answer the question and see what people are doing and how they're reacting to everything. But I want to talk a little bit about data, as hopefully Chris is going to be hopping on here. Jesse just joined us as well. If any of you guys want to hop up on the screen with me, we'll see if it works or not, but we'll go ahead and test it, and we'll try it out for this new platform. Yeah, Jesse, it's pretty cool. I like it, and we'll see how well it does overall. But so I've been listening. I listened to my buddy Steven Peterson's podcast. He interviewed I wish I could Reezy. 6:15 in Hawaii. Look at you, Rich, bragging. So Rich just says that yeah, he's 6:15 a.m. in Hawaii. I've been there before. I love it. But anyway, so yeah, Steven Peterson interviewed Reezy Resells for his podcast, and I was listening to it, and they were talking about books and data. I think that when people look at the book market, a lot of times what they see is they'll see the way how many books are sold. They look at the book market based upon new book sales, and so because no one knows how many used books are sold, and so what we do is we say, hey, the book market's growing, or it's shrinking, or whatever's happening. But the data doesn't always tell us what we think it's telling us because we don't understand how to look at it. People are doing a lot of stuff. Oh, exactly right. Yeah, guys. Sorry. Anitra jumped on here. So I guess it is streaming on Facebook. So wonderful. Yeah, if you guys are not checking this out on Crowdcast, Anitra, if you could put a link in the live video how they can join the Crowdcast as we're going on here. You can't, yeah, you can't, I can't see any comments or anything unless you're actually in the Crowdcast here with me. So back to data and how it sometimes doesn't tell us what we think it's telling us. Oh, here we go. I can't hear you, but I can see you. Look how sexy we look, buddy. I can't hear you, but you look so good. Okay. Got nothing. But the good news is that you are here with me and that the application does work. Oh, I muted you. There we go. Let's see. No, he's got nothing. So I think he's just going to sit there and look pretty for a while we while we keep going. Nope, got nothing for you. But what a good-looking guy. Did you do something different? You look different than the last time. Did you shave? Did you have a goatee before? He says no. He can't hear anything. We're going to kick him off. He's gone. How cool was that, right? He couldn't hear it. I mean, he couldn't hear, but it worked, didn't it? That looked really good too. Awesome. Well, anyhow, let's get a little bit back to the topic. If you guys have any questions, by the way, put them here in the Crowdcast. I can't see any questions anywhere else. If you're watching this on YouTube or if you're watching this on Facebook, I can't see any. I can't see anything other than the questions that are answered here in Crowdcast. So yeah, it's saying Bob's saying that the this is really slow. Crowdcast is really slow. I think that depends on your internet connection. Jesse says it's not slow over there, and it looks like you guys are. There's not as much of a lag as there is on Facebook Live either. So we're seeing that people are responding to me relatively quickly. So I really like this. I think this is way more fun, and we can also get the reach of Facebook and probably YouTube. I'm not sure, but yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything, I'll be here to enable compact mode. You want to try again? I'll try again. Okay. Well, we're gonna invite Chris back on and see if it'll work. But awesome. So so yeah, ask any question you guys have about books or Amazon or marketing or anything at all. We'll go ahead and ask him. I really thank you guys for. I didn't prepare anything. I didn't tell you guys in advance. I literally sent an email out to the list like 10 minutes before we were going live and just made it happen, right? So yeah, you guys, thank you very much. What you're going to be seeing, you're going to be seeing a lot more of these because I think this is a great way to engage and a great way for us to really get this and make it happen. And it's looking like people are also finding us from Crowdcast in general. So this is really, really fun. So any questions you guys have about Amazon or whatever, books, about the new fee structure, which is kind of a pain, go ahead and ask in the chat and we'll get to it. But what we were talking about in the beginning was data and how comes it doesn't always tell us what we think it tells us. And I was listening to Reezy on Stephen Merchant's podcast about how Stephen was talking about how the book market is sort of on decline, and how people, the publishers and stuff, are looking at how books are selling less or maybe a little bit more, but in general it's dying out. And I wanted to jump, and I contacted Stephen, but they're out in Vegas partying it up for ASD or whatever. So he's a little bit busy. He said, we'll talk about it later. But I want to jump up and down and say, hey guys, that's has nothing to do with what we do. The new book market has nothing to do at all with what we do, because of the fact that they're not really substitute goods. New books is what's being counted. Used books are sold time and time and time again. And in fact, I don't know if you guys know this, but it doesn't even add to the GDP the way they officially count it. Putting on my economist hat a little bit, but used goods don't even count as far as adding to the GDP. And what's happening is, I know this from running my bookstore, is we will sell the same book in here multiple times. Somebody will buy it, go home and read it and bring it back, and it'll still have our tag on it. So we give them extra trade credit for bringing the book back. And then we sell it over and over again, just in my little store in Dayton. But the used market is not a substitute for the new market. I read a couple of academic papers about this as well, where they said Hey, actually, used books are not new books are not a substitute for used books. And what happens is if the new price of a book goes up by 10%, the demand for the used copies will go up 1%, which means they're not super compatible. So changes in one market doesn't have as big of an impact as changes in the other. And so we have a question here. Oh, yeah. So Bob asks, what's ASD beside a convention now going on in Vegas? That is what ASD is. I don't even know what it stands for. It's where people that sell stuff on Amazon that's not books go to party and find new products. So yeah, and then there's but if you guys have any other questions, let me know. As we're going here, I also want to hear anything you guys have to say about the new fees and this data stuff in general. So to get back to talking about data, right? It doesn't always tell us what we think it tells us, and there's good uses of data and bad uses of data. First off, I don't want to go I don't want to get in the weeds a little bit, but I don't like to talk about politics to anybody, but I do like to follow like the data polling and stuff, and 538.com, 528.com, 538.com. I go there, they talk about good use of polling and bad use of polling and all that stuff. And I think the same is true with data of all kinds. Sometimes what really frustrates me is the Keepa, the whole Keepa chart. I think that what happens a lot of times, guys, is people are reading way too much in to the Keepa charts, because from what I understand, what happens with Keepa is they go through and check out all of the books on everything on Amazon like once a day. They're not like going continually. And if I'm wrong, then let me know, guys. If you guys know about more about Keepa than I do, but I have friends that are smart, and they tell me that's what happens, is that Keepa goes through and checks all the stuff on Amazon every day, as much as they can, and then they put the data up with the new price, used price, all that fun stuff. Now, so when what's happening is that people are using these charts as like a Bible about what's going on, and you see the spikes go up and down about when things are selling, which is true, but it doesn't tell us what the prices were that the book sold at. So if someone and this, it can be great, Keep is awesome, it's awesome, it helps everybody, but like let's say that for a popular textbook or a not so popular book, Keep is saying that the average rank is 1 million, or it's been tottering back and forth, and the price is $50 for that book. Now, what if some chucklehead comes through, doesn't know what they're doing, lists the book for $5? So Keepa goes and scans everything, gets the data for the day. Then a chucklehead lists the book for $5. Someone buys it immediately, and now the sales rank drops down really low. And but the price that the book sold at never got looked at by Keepa. You know what I mean? So that kind of stuff, I'm sure that kind of stuff can happen a lot. And we're making these huge decisions based upon Keepa and sales rank and all this stuff, where the data doesn't tell us as much as we would like to. What I always talk about is with sales rank and any of this stuff, it's like using a chainsaw when what you really need is a scalpel. I don't want you guys to be overly dependent upon one piece of data or one piece of information, because it's not as predictive as most people think it is. It's just not. It's the best that we have, but it's not like a Bible, right? So I just wanted to tell you guys about that. But yeah. Okay, so one of you guys had a question here about some of the places that Balt books come from, meaning where do Gaylords come from? Well, in general, the way that this whole thing works is that people throw books in the garbage. That happens a lot. You'd be surprised at how many hundreds of tons a year. I read this was years ago, but I read something about so many hundreds of tons a year of books go in the landfill, and another so many hundreds of tons of books a year go to recycling centers, and they're made into toilet paper or some insulation, sometimes all kinds of things. But before all that happens, people will donate the books to libraries. They'll take them to their municipal recycling facility or MRF. They will give them to a thrift store or something like that. And the what I say, and people have heard me say this all the time, and this question is from Tish, where what happens is we all the books are donated to. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. This is new to me. I'm seeing the comment scroll, but what happens is that the books go to these thrift stores, recyclers, librarians, whoever, and they get way too many. That always happens. In fact, at a thrift store, about 90% of what comes into them, at least for the large ones, they just can't use. They can't sell as much stuff as comes in. So they mostly sell to book guys, to the plastic toys are sold. The clothes are a big business. Shoes, bric-a-brac, which basically household stuff is thrown into Gaylords and sold that way. Everything is, right? And so then anything that's junk, though, gets thrown and compacted and thrown out. In fact, I've been to some of these larger thrift stores, like the main hub for the thrift store place, and they'll have a compactor in the back that just while I was there for like 4 hours, a huge one, huge compactor, like 20 yards, massive. It got emptied twice in 4 hours. And that's the stuff being compact. That's how much stuff it comes in and has to be thrown away. So basically thrift stores is recyclers, thrift stores, recyclers, bookstores, and what was it? Oh, libraries. Those are the big four. So that's the answer. Okay, so Bob says sometimes Keepa will tell the price when a book that sells only every other week or month and the price zooms up. That buyer bought at a low price. A subsequent sell at a high price may be similarly isolated. Keepa getting data once or twice a day may need some interpretation, but with some thought, you can often know what the deal is. And I don't disagree. I don't disagree, but I do think that we might need to just this kind of data, all the data that we use to make these decisions, and all these applications that provide all this information to us. I like to instead look at the books as a stock portfolio, right? We make the best decision we can using a chainsaw when we really need a scalpel, and we have 100 books, 1,000 books, and they're sold. Some of them are going to sell, some of them will never going to sell. And we treat each book as just one stock out of a bunch that we have. We're not too overly worried about any particular one. And yeah, I just don't think that we know as much as we think we know. Jesse says, Jesse is the hardest working man in show business, or in the book business at least. We make decisions on current rate and price, and it's not perfect, but it works. That's right. And I'm sure Jesse would agree with me too, that, by the way, if any of you guys want to jump on here live with me as well, let me know here and we will add you here and see if we can get it to work. So we did have Chris pop on earlier and we didn't get to hear him, but we got to see him. Dapper young man. And so, yeah, but so to finish that, it looks like he's trying again. Chris is trying again, which, whatever. I'm down if you're down, buddy. But Jesse, what he was saying is, and I'm sure he would agree that, this is what we do, but it's the best that we can, right? Like, we don't have more data than there is there. And what I start to get uncomfortable when people are talking about all these different data points and giving them more power and more like energy, spending more time on them than I think that they deserve, right? I think they're just as almost everything that we do, there's information overload. Like if we Googled right now, how do you build a deck? There will be, and in fact, how about we share my screen and we do that thing? Because I want to see if that works too. Yeah, we'll share it here. How to build a deck. And so there's going to be a million different ways to build a deck. And we don't know who of these, we assume Home Depot, right? But we don't know how many of these are people that we can trust, or how many are just random chuckleheads. I'm sure Trex is good at deck building, but we don't know him from Adam. I'm going to play this video too, guys, and see what happens. This is just a quick little test here.
Hi, I'm Paul.
And I'm Kate.
And we're about to deck it out.
So I'm assuming that this is picking up my mic.
Hey, Paul, let's discuss this. Do it yourself versus pro builder. You'll take
I think the
pro
lighting's
builder,
pretty good.
Deal.
I'll be DIY.
All right, you start.
Okay.
I think the
there
S is
no
the
better
combat.
feeling than building.
Okay, we're done there. I just wanted to test it. So now what do I do now? Close the video. There we go. So let me know if that was bananas. Okay. Did you guys hear did you hear the video okay? Were there problems with it? I'm assuming the audio is a little weird, but there wasn't any weird squealing or anything crazy. Good, awesome. This is really great. Guys, this is like, I think it's like $60 or $70 a month that I'm spending on Crowdcast, but man, you guys wait, because I'll be able to share like keynotes and stuff. And in fact, just for you guys that are watching this now, we're going to do the first couple of slides of yeah, let's see here. This is going to be cool. So I've been working on a bulk course, and this is sort of like a sneak peek, right? It's not done, and I'm not announcing anything right now. That's not the point. But I'm going to share with you application window. Here we go. Okay. So I'm just going to share. I'm going to share this with you here. This is a module in the course, and we're going to go through the first few slides. I just want to test this out. But people have been asking us to do a bulk course for years, since I did it 3 years ago with He Who Will Not Be Named. No, it's Peter Valley. we did a thing together. My first ever product launch was back in the day with him, and he's a great guy. We don't work together anymore, but anyway. So but anyway, we'll just go through the first few slides here of the Bulk Books Blueprint, and this is module 3, negotiating the deal. I just want to which negotiation is super important. We talk about it a lot, but we go really heavy into it here. And negotiating is all about problem solving. Principal agent problem. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to obviously go through the whole thing. I have a whole script and stuff for that, but let's see here. Oh, good. And I can pull that up, and then I can unfocus that part and pull it down. Okay, cool. Focus on me. Cool. Awesome. Let me go ahead and X that out there. Cool. Okay. But yeah, so I just want to go through that. But yeah, anyway, so you'll be hearing more about that later on. But I just wanted to test that and see if it worked. So, but yeah, negotiation is super important, and spend hours going over that, which it's worth it. But yeah, it doesn't work on Internet Explorer, Sue, because so Sue asks, let's see if it can work. Post it as a question, and then I can answer her question. Yeah, it doesn't work on Internet Explorer because nobody uses Internet Explorer, Sue, because it's 2018. So yeah, so that's why it does not work. No, but yeah, it doesn't work on Internet Explorer. Okay, this is a good one. So Matt asks, tips for folks new to selling Merch Fulfilled. It looks looking to get as much from my bulk buys as possible, which is by the way, guys. Before I get to that, you can also vote on the questions here, like stuff that you want to know about. Over here, what you'll see is there's a place beside the questions. If you click down on the Ask a Question part, you can vote to see which questions you want to get answered, and that's something that we can make sure that we cover, right? So if you have a question, go over to the Ask a Question part of the little app, and you can ask your question. You can also vote on the questions that are already on here. And so Matt, he's asking for tips for selling Merch Fulfilled. Really, the good news about it is I guess the biggest tip that I will give you guys is that it's super important to know all your expenses, right? Whether it's staff, whether you're doing it, you need to value your time. You need to memorize the media mail rate table if that's what you're paying. As you scale, you don't have to use media mail anymore. But when you first start, you need to know what those fees are. You need to know what all the Amazon fees are as well. And there's this new Amazon, like sending things to 15 or 20 different places. This is really cracking the heads on people. And a lot of people are moving more into Merch Fulfilled, and which I go back and forth with FBA, and it's great for textbooks. I'm not always convinced about how awesome it is otherwise, because of taking the stuff everywhere, the long-term fees and everything. But some people are trying to change my mind, and yeah, we're doing both. We always do both. But yeah, I think that Merch Fulfilled is something that is going to be a bigger part of a lot of people's businesses in the coming years, just because Amazon wants to sell more iPhone covers and cases and clothes and stuff that doesn't take up as much space as books in their fulfillment centers. No matter how fast they're building them, Daddy Bezos isn't building them fast enough for all of us to have a copy of Who Moved My Cheese in FBA. They just don't want that anymore. So hopefully that's just definitely know your rate, know all your fees. That's the biggest piece of information I can give you. Yeah, Jesse says Internet Explorer works really well to download Chrome, which is true, guys. No, I'm sure it's fine if that's your thing, but I really like all the Chrome extensions that you can use, and yeah. But so speaking of Sue, I wanted to, if you guys have, you're welcome, Matt. But speaking of Sue, her daughter Mandy, who's awesome, she's going to be at Busproof Live. Oh, which gives me a great opportunity to share the new call to action. Look at that. This here is a thing that's going to click to Busproof Live, and I'm pretty sure I can change that in the middle to where I can change the label and change the URL, so it'll go to something else later. So I know obviously no one probably is going to be buying tickets for next weekend. You got to fly or whatever, but how cool is that, right? It's going to take you to the page there. So we can also do, if we want to, see how quick it'll do. I'm just going to do this to, let's see here. I'm going to change the link to something else, to our blog. That's what I'll do. That's for my last podcast interview here. Give me just a second here. I want to see how fast it's going to. Oh, no. Crap. Stay. I almost accidentally left you guys. So here's what I'm going to do here. Let's see how quick it'll let me change this. So click on the button if you want to. I mean, I'm, whatever. But Busproof blog. So click on the button now just to see what it does if you would. And then, yeah, now click on it again and see if it's taking you to the blog. Cool. Yeah, so you can change it in midstream. It changes right away where it's going to go. You can change what it says on the button as well. Yeah, just real quick, it'll do whatever you want it to do. And I think it does it as no, you have to save it. Cool. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, this is pretty cool, guys. If you have an audience or you're wanting to build an audience, I'm going to be recommending Crowdcast. I'm going to be talking its ear off. One of the things that sort of cooled me off on doing webinars, which, by the way, pro tip, you never say webinar, you always say workshop, because webinar doesn't sound good. Workshop sounds better. But anyway, so what stopped me from doing those things was I hated GoToWebinar. You guys have to download it and you have to log in. It sucked. And I don't love Facebook Live because it's kind of everywhere. But Crowdcast is really fun, right? So, but yeah, if you guys haven't yet listened to that podcast interview with Fred Grundeman, he's going to be at Busproof Live, as well as a bunch of other people. I'm pretty sure that a guy named Jeff, he handles online sales for at least part of the Half Price Books company, which, if you guys ever go out scouting, you know who Half Price Books is. This guy, Jeff, he handles all that. He's going to be there as well, at least for a couple days. So it's going to be great. We're going to have some pretty awesome guests. Chris and his guys are going to be there too. It's really going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Everybody's freaking out on the team. Nick and Anitra are like madly getting their stuff together. Stacy and David are coming and staying at the house. Eric, everybody's losing it because you have 3 days. That's a long time for us to have, to make this thing work. And so what I did is I said, look, we got an office park. I rented an office park from my landlord. It's 4,000 square feet of space. And what I did is I'm like, well, hey, if I do this, we can bring in all our own food, our snacks and everything. And we're going to save a ton of money by not having to pay $1 million for all the like $8 cups of coffee that you have to do when you have. So yeah, there's pros and minuses, but I really like to be comfortable. I like to have our own space. And so I just rented out this 4,000 square foot space in an office park that we can just hang out in for the weekend. So that's going to be fun. And then remember, Saturday night, we're going to drive 15 minutes to the bookstore to have dinner and drinks and hang out here. So it's going to be fun. And see my podcasting studio, which is not that. It's my office, which was a bummer. I do miss my office on Webster at the warehouse. But if any of you guys have any questions, I will answer them. Otherwise, you know what? I was in the middle of talking about Mandy Gunn, who's going to be at Busproof. She's doing this thing on her page, and what is it? What's the sincerest form of flattery, right? Well, whatever. So a lot of people are they're chomping on her flavor now, right? Yeah, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So a bunch of people are going to be are doing the same thing. But what Mandy's doing right now is she is having a live stream at Dollar Book Swap Reno, and she's selling books, like sets of books from her store live on Facebook, which is bananas. And it's working. I think Sue they mentioned at some point, I don't want to like, talk out of school, but it was hundreds of dollars in those 2 hours that she was doing that. And she's just getting started. I think she had her third one, and her and I talked a little bit back and forth. Yeah. And so with Crowdcast, yeah. So Sue says she's doing an extra $500 a week. And Sue, I'd love to, heck, I would love to have Mandy on the podcast or whatever. I mean, Mandy's awesome. Just the testicular fortitude of somebody to just say, you know what? I see these people hawking these pearls, this stuff on Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and hawk some used books on my Facebook page. And I see that I'm going to try this, right? And that's what got me to to research Crowdcast, because I wanted a way to do this, right? I wanted a way to try it. And so you guys, I'm going to invite you guys to check it out when we do our first one at Murphy's. It's going to be through Crowdcast, because what we want to do is we're going to tweak it a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the live stream on Facebook, like I think we're doing now, hopefully. We're going to be doing the live stream on Facebook. I think we're on YouTube, but I don't know. Like, we'll see when this is done. I'll go and see if we were on YouTube or not. But we're going to live stream it, everyone. What we're going to say is, hey guys, we're on Crowd, and I'm going to have someone on staff continue to post the links in the Facebook Live and say, hey, if you want to bid, you got to be on Crowdcast. Because the other thing about this is all of you guys that signed up, it looks like there's like 29 of you here right now. You all had to give me your email to sign up. Right? Which means then I can say, hey guys, once we have the email, we can say, hey, come here next week to our sale again. And so now we're collecting emails. Which, by the way, Jesse, I'm going to publicly spank him right now. And the rest of you guys can hear this too. If you're doing any kind, and same thing with you guys in Reno. I talked to Mandy about this too. Collect the emails, dude. You got to collect the emails. That's the big deal. Email campaigns, all that stuff, everything else is great. Email is still what works. So you guys got to make sure and collect the emails and then send them to your customers. Now, a lot of you guys don't own bookstores, and that's fine too. I will say Facebook's algorithm loves live video. And if you guys, we talked about building your own brand, be the book person in your community. Do that by giving books away. You guys, we all have so many duds, right? You can give those away. Do it on Facebook Live. You can do. Jesse's an idiot. Jesse says email works best on Internet Explorer. Butthead. Okay. All right, class. So. Sorry. He got me there. Okay. I lost my train of thought, but biscuit head. So anyway, you definitely want to grow an email list, and not only if you don't have to have a bookstore for this, but any kind of thing that you're working on. I'm not saying crowd, like I don't like get paid. I'm not an employee for the company. I'm just saying something, right, that you can use to collect emails, give stuff away. Here, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here and show you. Let's see here, share my screen. What is this one? Oh, a new tab. That's Oh, can I like click on here or not? Where's this new tab opening? Okay, cool. That's really cool. So it only shares that, so you can't see all the other stuff. Okay, so we'll go to murphysusedbooks.com. And so what you guys see here is, and I'm going to go ahead and make this be. Oh, good, it is. All right, awesome. So you can see here we have, I want a free book. And they can click and sign up and get a free book. And then we also have, this that talks about all of our little, what's it called? Our testimonials, goodness. But yeah, so we have all these testimonials that we asked them to give us, and they gave it to us. And yeah, my favorite part is, the teacher one. So we love making teachers cry at Murphy's, which sounds bad, but so my aunt, she'll give books away to teachers, and they really like it and they cry. And my aunt's weird and likes that. So you can go to the Facebook page, you can do all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, otherwise it's pretty straightforward, but I just wanted to show you how we give people opportunities to get free books for their email address on our page. All right. So I'll see if you guys have any more questions, and then we will call it a day. Yeah, so Bob asked, was Mandy the one that did the live selling session? It wasn't on Crowdcast. It was just on Facebook Live. And I don't know if I can convince her to do that. But if you guys did get it, if you haven't seen it, go on Facebook, search for the Dollar Book Swap Reno, and you'll be able to see the live videos. Thousands and thousands of views she's had, which, again, Facebook gives her that, you get that algorithm love when you do long live videos like this one. Wink. So you get that algorithm juice, right? And so, but what I'm trying to but what you can do here is, you can see I can share my screen, I can share pictures. We can go back from seeing my big head to go to seeing the pictures of the books or pictures of whatever. So I will definitely let you guys know when we do our first Crowdcast for Murphy's. When we actually do that, I'll let you guys know when that happens, because just in case you guys want to heckle me, right? But anyway, unless you guys have any other questions, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, yeah, live stream my event. Tish, next time, make sure to ask the question. Don't just make a comment in chat. Make sure you go over to ask a question so I don't miss it. But the live stream at the event, I don't think that's going to work. There's already a lot happening. We're going to try to record everything, and we'll do our best. But I don't see the live stream happening. Putting on the event is a lot of work. Adrian asked, can you just show your slides? Yes, you definitely can. You can for sure. You can for sure just show your slides. Yeah, you can delete your own video or your own. You can delete the stream of just your head, so you can just show the video. Although I will tell you, if you do, it does give a little bit more, Adrian, it's a little bit better to have your own face on there while you're going through the slides on the free training thing like this, just so people can stay engaged. It keeps them a little bit more engaged. I certainly don't do, obviously I think there's better things to look at than my mug, but I do this because, it's more engaging. So, okay, guys, if there's nothing else, thank you so much for hanging out with me here and testing this new thing. Yeah, I think it works, guys. I think it's really fun. So you're going to see us do a lot more of these, and I'm going to go ahead and exit out here, and hopefully it worked out really well on YouTube and Facebook, but as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to go check and see what happened. But I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye-bye.